I am here today to give you some quick tips on how to look after your Gemini plates. I'm going to show you the plates that you get with your Gemini as standard with the machine. So you get two cutting plates. So we get two clear cutting plates, and they are designed to be the top and the bottom of your sandwich. However, we do have an explanation in our booklet that gives you all the instructions. There is a metal shim that's included as well. Now the metal shim is designed for all your intricate dies, those dies that are difficult to cut, so that we need that little extra bit of pressure, and this is being designed for that, and also perfect for all the sewists out there when they do the soft crafts using the Gemini, cutting out all the multimedia dies. This is the plate that you would use then within your sandwich combination. Now then, we have the plastic shim, or the cloudy shim as people call this, but this is the plastic shim, which again is just intended for a shim. This can act as a top plate though when it comes to things like 3D embossing folders, and we'll talk about that in the instruction booklet where you need this, and this can act as a top plate. Now the next one we have, and these have been redesigned, so previously these were manufactured in black. So we had a black magnetic shim and a black rubber embossing mat. However, after much research and product development, we decided we'd change these slightly. We'd give them a little bit of a revamp, and that's just to stop the confusion, because when you put everything or the plates all in together, which some of our lovely customers were doing, it just stops that confusion, because we never had two black mats that ran through the machine at the same time in that combination of a sandwich. But we've now designed the magnetic shim, and you can see that it has got these grids on, which comes perfect for when you are wanting to get things for sizes. When you want to put on a piece of cardstock, now I've chopped a bit of 5x5 cardstock, but you can see we've got all measurements all the way down here, from 8x8, 6x6, 5x5, A6, 4x4, and then it goes on A2, 5x7, and we've even got the American versions just on here as well. So it gives you, or the American sizing, sorry, so that you can measure and put it in perfectly, which by that I mean, if you want to place a die in the middle of a 5x5 cardstock, you can pop that in, and then you can place that over the 5x5 grid, which means you get a perfect cut. It is only magnetic on one side, so it's magnetic this side. You can see that die is held in place. It isn't magnetic on there, as you can tell. So it's magnetic on one side only, and that's how that's been designed. But again, you do have grids on there, help with measurements and things like that. And then the now new purple rubber mat instead of the black one, and again that's just to avoid any confusion when it comes to plate combinations when you're using them. Now these are consumables, so at some point these plates will need to be replaced. However, there are a lot of things that you can do to keep your plates going. Longevity, that's the word I'm looking for, to keep the plates going for a long time. And it is a case of being using both. They don't have to, we've had this in the past where people have just used that as a plate to use to build the plate up and not cut into, but these are both cutting plates, and they can be designed or to cut on both sides. So with a bit of careful, and I say careful, it's just a case of when you're popping it in and bringing it out through your machine, you turn it over and you reverse it. And it's those kinds of things and those kinds of tips that you can relay on to people that will keep these plates, preventing them from warping. And another thing to stop that warping is the pressure. So a lot of people misunderstand, but when it comes to the plate combination, we have instructions in the booklet that enable you to understand a little bit more. So when you cut in mixed media dies, or multimedia dies as we call them, thin metal dies, embossing folders, 3D embossing folders, cut and emboss folders, there's lots of different information in there, instructions on what the plate sandwich or the combination would be to use. But with a bit of careful use, you will be able to keep these plates for a very long time and keep them nice and straight. So when you pop that in, you bring that back out, turn it and reverse it, and that way it's like a flip and reverse action, and it just means that you're going to keep those plates nice and flat for a very long time. So I hope that helped with a little bit of top tips on how to look after your plates.